AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. So last week I joined the City Club of Baton Rouge, which is downtown. Gorgeous building, historic building in downtown. Really cool, great for networking and everything. Awesome place too. And so they send you these like events, right? If there's a this tasting or that dinner, and if there's entertainment, whatever. Well, coming up, I think next week at City Club, they have a live music cocktail hour with Mr. Toby Tomplay as the entertainment. How about that?
Clap it up.
Yeah. I feel like we need a big sound effect there, like the meow, 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 meow. You know that thing?
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, let's get that. So we have something else in
I don't really know what to
What?
search for that, but I'll find it.
Oh, that's super easy.
All right, go for it. Scone's got the best Google.
Well, I got to host a show right now, but I'll do it in the break.
All right.
Scone does give it the best Google. As Richard Condon said many years ago, nobody gives better Google than Scone. Gives the best Google in the world. Guilty as charged.
It's true though. Like, I mean, I can corroborate that.
Guilty as charged. I wonder if AI is better at Google than me now.
Sounds like a fun segment.
Who's better?
Yeah, can Scone beat AI?
Okay. Are you smarter than an AI bot?
There we go. Yeah.
Bring it, AI! You're not taking my job. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so we all know baseball transfer portal opened on Monday. So we're 48 hours in thereabouts. And this is the third day of the portal being open. Over 2,000 players have already put their name in the transfer portal. 5 LSU Tigers, as we've discussed. Notably, Maverick Rizzi, Trent Caraway, Daniel Harden, and then a couple of pitchers with Jaden Newton, DJ Primo are all going to play their final year of eligibility elsewhere. So 5 LSU Tigers have entered the portal. We know there's another almost double-digit number of players who are out of eligibility. At least 9 players are out of eligibility. Then you'll lose other guys to the draft. Curiel, Brown, we'll see what happens with Milam. So making over the roster turnover is going to be an evolution throughout this offseason, but they are certainly going to add players via the portal. Now, I know Jay Johnson sort of infamously now had the press conference where he acknowledged the misses in the portal and how they're not going to go try to make up for the power numbers that they lost year to year by just chasing those power numbers in the portal. They're going to build it within like they did with guys like Bear Jones, like they did with Ethan Fry. So you can look at who you have returning next year with players like, obviously, Braun and Cerna and Aaron Beatty, and it is natural to assume they're going to be dudes that help pace your team with your power numbers in 2027. So I don't think Jay Johnson is looking for power in the portal. I think there are 2 things primarily he's got to go get. Number 1 is he has got to go get proven frontline starting pitching. Now, you return Evans and Cooper Moore and Schmidt and Paz, Reagan Ricken. And you got some really talented freshmen coming in. But none of the guys I just mentioned have proven they are elite-level frontline starting pitching. Even a year ago, 2 years ago, before the 25 season, they went, look, we were all hopeful that Cade Anderson was going to take a big step. But Anderson struggled in SEC play as a freshman. Became kind of your midweek guy. And when they tried to get him SEC innings, it didn't work. And then, boom, parabolic run up year 1 to year 2, becomes the best pitcher in the country. So we can hope that Paz or Ricken take that step, or Evan, Schmidt, Cooper Moore, whatever. But you haven't seen it. So even that year, they went and got Ianson. They brought Zach Cowan in, who had been a Friday night guy. I don't think they assumed he would be a Friday night guy in the SEC, but they thought he might be able to be a weekend guy. So you've got to go get frontline starting pitching. And then the other gigantic question is replacing Curiel and Milam. So I think you're obviously going to need to fortify your outfield because you're losing Brown, Curiel, and Stant. You're losing your whole outfield. Now Harden's gone in the portal. Maybe they project Braun as an outfielder. We'll see what happens there. But Milam is another big one because if you get Milam back, great, but you can't just assume that he's coming back. You've got to go address that position, and then you have an option somewhere on the left side of your infield or in your middle infield if you add someone else. So when you look at where they're addressing, it kind of tells you what Jay's thinking in the early going. So we were able to confirm yesterday that Brody Trosclair, the lefty from Northwestern State, did visit LSU yesterday. So I was told he visited LSU. He hopped on a plane afterwards. He was going to see Tennessee and Arkansas and Mississippi State. If you're not familiar, he was the freshman of the year in the Southland Conference. He's a lefty. He's from Thibodaux. Freshman of the year at Northwestern State in the Southland. Entered the portal. He did have an elbow injury, but he did not have Tommy John. He had the sleeve procedure. And I was told yesterday they're anticipating that he'll be ramped up by March. So about the time you're getting through pre-conference toward SEC play is when they should be able to take the reins off and let him go. So that would be a really big one. But I'm also told, he ain't getting a hometown discount. Or LSU's not getting a hometown discount. So if you're able to land Brody Trosclair, you're going to have to pay for it. And that's a guy that's probably going to command upwards of $250,000. So when you look at market value for a starting pitcher. And then there's 3 other players that I know that there is interest, an outfielder and 2 infielders. Basically what we just talked about. Jason Wachs is one to watch. He's from Florida. He spent 2 years at Tulane. He's your quintessential big-bodied out. He's 6'2". I don't want to make the comp, but think Jake Brown. 6'2", big-bodied dude. Corner outfielder. Played 107 games at Tulane over his 2 seasons and hit .311 in those 2 years. Okay? So he's going into his draft year, wants to go from the American to maybe the SEC, takes that big leap. Now you're talking about a real prospect. And then the other 2 are infielders, guys that played on the left side of the infield this year. Tyler Konis was the all Big Ten freshman this year at Maryland, started all 56 games at .286. So it was a productive starter. And again, that's you're giving Ty Konis a look because if Milam does in fact sign a pro contract, well, you've got Ruckert and Klaus there, but you would sure love someone who has been a big-time college baseball starter if that option is there for you. And if Milam comes back and you sign someone like Konis, well, great. Maybe he plays second, maybe he plays third. Either way, you've got options and another proven option in the middle infield. And the one that's kind of a swing for the fences is Mikey Bell. So he's a third baseman from Gonzaga. He's the 2-time West Coast Conference Player of the Year. He's in the portal. I know LSU has interest. He is most certainly a draft risk. Remember a few years ago when LSU signed Dylan Tabrock from Creighton, the pitcher, and then he was drafted and signed Jack Pineda from Baylor. We had Jack Pineda on the show that same year as Tabrock. Carter Young from Vanderbilt signed with LSU and then was drafted, ultimately signed a pro contract. So there's always that chance that you go after a guy in the portal, you sign them, draft comes, and they sign a pro contract. Like, there's always that shot, but it doesn't mean you don't recruit these guys. You just have to prepare for the possibility of them not showing up on campus. So you've got to have a good sense of where they feel like they are with their decision, like what that number is realistically. So it's a big information gathering session, right? You talk to this prospect and you tell them, okay, like, what's your number for the draft? And so then you get their number, what they're thinking, and then you go talk to a lot of different organizations and scouts and see what they're projected to be. And so now you know how much of a barrier or a buffer protection, a safety net you need to build in this class. So just a few names worth keeping an eye on that I know LSU, that I've been told that if you either visit or LSU has interest in those prospects. And that list will grow. And as it does, we'll talk about it here. And, of course, you can always read about it for free over at LouisianaSports.net. Hunt and I swapped notes on that, and he's got a piece up at LouisianaSports.net right now. So you can go check it out for free at LouisianaSports.net. Hey, remember, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, ParishRestoration.com. Was walking in studio, it was raining outside because it rains every day. And I tell you every day that we live in the mold capital of the world because it's wet and humid. That's a breeding ground for mold. So have mold, think you might, you need Parish Restoration. Super easy. They'll come, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Think about those three things I just said. Patented, non-toxic, dry fog. Patented, nobody else can do it. Non-toxic, safe for your family, pets, plants. Dry fog. You don't have to worry about it damaging your sheetrock, carpet, furniture. It's easy. They come in, they spray, fog dwells, kills everything. As soon as it dissipates, you're back in. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We missed Shea Dixon a day ago. He had another commitment, so not a recruiting commitment, just something he had to do. So Shea was good enough to bump today, so we'll talk some recruiting with Shea when we come back. We're glad you're with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
AFR.
If you're hiring for your business, what kind of business? Any kind of business. If you're hiring for your business, you need Glow Resources. As a matter of fact, Glow Resources is hiring right now as well. So if you want to go work for the company that helps you find the right people for your business, Glow Resources is hiring. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions like we always talk about. So with Glow Resources, they are not a temp staffing agency. They are not talking to you, the employee. At Glow Resources, who they want to talk to is you, the employer. So if you're the employer, the owner, the HR manager, the vice president, the operations manager, you're the person in charge of running the operation who needs to find the right people for your business, you need Glow Resources. They want to talk to you. So give them a shout. Go to glowresources.com, glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. You know, one of the great reasons to do business with Insurance Network of Louisiana is the service. Yes, I've told you for years. At Insurance Network of Louisiana, they shop to find you better coverage for less money. So you want better insurance coverage on your home, your auto, your business, business owners? Yes, but they will evaluate your book of business or their book of business throughout the year to make sure that you have the best deal. And that's not always going to be the cheapest. You know, sometimes, you get the best deductible. Sometimes it's proper coverage. Sometimes it's having a company that will actually pay if you file a claim. Being in roofing, I know there's some companies out there that they don't like to pay. It's not just about sales. It's about providing service to make sure that you're properly covered. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money, better service. 293-0450.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Glad to have Shea Dixon jumping aboard with us here on a Wednesday edition of AFR. Shady, what up?
Oh, not too much. How are you guys?
Doing awesome, man. Thanks for making it work here today. Let's go back before we go forward. Man, what a monster weekend for LSU, at least from the periphery. You want to give us the recap on how it went with the 4 5 stars and the 6 prospects on campus?
Briefly, I wanted to start off here with Coach O. Your 15-second reaction before I give my opinion on what I thought was the biggest storyline of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Coach O probably in earned media already paid his salary for year one just on how much earned media LSU got from this weekend and the virality of his videos.
And that doesn't even count if any yields any commits. Okay, so you stole one line from me. I'll go with the other because I agree. I think if $100,000 for a year and you've already gotten a weekend out of him on weekend number one, I thought that was a big deal. But one thing that jumped out to me, Matt, was and look, the videos went all around. They've been shared on social media. If you're not on there, Coach O was front and center all weekend. I mean, you would have thought he was the head coach and doing his normal Coach O thing, which is being known as one of the best recruiters in the country because of his personality, how hands-on he is with each prospect and their families. And when you got the number one player in the country and a D lineman on campus like Jalen Brewster and the number one wide receiver in the country and a Louisiana kid in Easton Royal, that's massive. So yes, I totally agree. Like paid for itself. But the humility shown for me, like Coach O was fired. They brought in a coach and it flatlined on him. They had to bail for a different head coach who's had a past with Lane Kiffin, who Coach O and Lane have known each other and coached together before. And instead of you didn't look at me as head coach, instead of you didn't look at me as D-line coach, anything, it was 100,000 and just come in and help out. Matt, he was out there in the three-point stance again all weekend long. I mean, he was wearing guys out. Those guys went home tired. And then he's leading them out the tunnel. He's getting them amped up. Best sound in the country. Snap the helmets. I mean, he didn't go out there, and it wasn't, to me, like I don't see many head coaches who got fired from a school after winning a national championship show back up and just pick up where they left off, doing what they love. And I think that's what makes Coach O so great. And really, at the same time, for Lane, this is someone who one of the themes of his coaching arc is, well, he's about himself. He wants credit for things. It's really Charlie Weiss calling the plays. It's really, Ole Miss's team that made it through the playoffs without Lane. Lane brings in Coach O, and Matt, on the first weekend of the summer, just you didn't see anything flooded with Lane Kiffin photos. It was Coach O, and there was. Look, even Ole Miss people would say, well, you'll see Lane's not that hands-on recruiter that everyone thinks he might be. Well, okay, if that's a flaw of mine or if that's something is not my forte, how about I dial up the best person in the country at it? So the fact that they got that done, and I really thought it might just be like show up when you want to type thing. Well, guess what? He showed up on weekend one. And to take it back to where we started, they probably already earned that $100,000 they're giving him.
So they turn the page, Shea, from the weekend to a midweek official. You were the first one that I saw report this, so hat tip to you over at On 3 and Rivals. Mitchell Turner, who's another elite-level defensive lineman from Mississippi on a visit. Pick up there, Shea. How did this all come to pass, and what can you tell us?
Yeah, they've been on him for a bit now, and like you've noted it, but they brought in Sterling Lucas from South Carolina, so he's coaching the edge rushers, and Kevin Peoples, who had been doing that, is coaching the D tackles. So they recruit those positions, and Peoples had been on him, all spring, and most felt, and it was the case, that Bama led, and they got the first OV this past weekend, but he didn't shut things down. And look, he came to LSU midweek, going to Ole Miss this weekend. He'll go to Texas after that, and then he'll figure out a decision from there. But we're talking about the number 3 defensive lineman in America coming to campus a day after the number 1 defensive lineman in America left. And look, Coach O's there again, right? All hands on deck, not just on Kevin Peoples to have to recruit and Blake Baker and everyone else, but now you've got this extra added bonus of, a guy like Orgeron being around with a top defensive lineman. Now with Brewster, the number 1 defensive lineman committed to Texas Tech, a school known for NIL, and a guy like Mitchell Turner, Matt, it's okay. Even if it is an NIL discussion, where does LSU stand? And look, it's very nuanced, right? It's there are premium positions, and cornerback is one of them. So yeah, they did back out of a Josh Dobson recruitment, but at this point, you don't need it for your roster. I think that a position like D tackle, which is also viewed as premium, is one where okay, if you can always use them, and if they're elite, like Richard Anderson, like Lamar Brown when they closed out on them, like Deuce Gerald's, and we saw all of these guys. Lamar's about to arrive, but have an impact in spring. And now you see Jalen Brewster on campus, and LSU's really in that one for the number one player in the country. And now you get the number 3 D lineman, and they're going to invest in those positions if they think those guys in high school can help out right away. And certainly Brewster can. We'll see, obviously, if Turner's in that same camp, but it won't surprise me if they're here until the end with these guys, just given that, again, premium position, and 2, Matt, probably the one position, and we know this well because we sat around covering these spring portal eras, then it died, and then the main portal era. D tackles are the one that they're just not falling off trees out there. There's like 2 of them that you're like, all right, those guys are no doubt going to be playing in the NFL, and everybody's on them. So if you can get them in high school, all the better.
Shea, I want to follow up there about defensive line because I've been theorizing. It's very clear where this staff will and won't spend on high school prospects. Like, it's pretty clear they're not going to spend on elite level high school offensive tackles. They would rather get those guys out of the portal. Corner, we just talked about with Dobson, right? It seems really clear based on who they signed this year, Anderson, Brown, Gerald's. They got Bryant, a 5-star committed for this coming year. And then look at the flood of elite-level prospects they have visiting now. Like, am I reading this correctly, Shea? Like, that is, to me, so clearly one spot they will spend for elite-level high school players?
Yes, and I think it goes back to the reality that they fit into that, what Billy Glasscock's talked about, what Lane's talked about. Billy Glasscock being the GM, and Lane being the head coach for those living under a rock, is that we're going after guys who, if you're in high school and you're commanding a high NIL number, then you have to help right away. Like, you can't sit on the bench and that type of, that's not a sound investment when you're trying to structure a roster in this new NIL era. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So what do we see? Them invest, like you said, in big D tackles this past cycle. What happened? Richard Anderson and Deuce Gerald are out there running first team half the time in spring. Like, they're wanting those guys to help out now. And you're exactly right. It's edge rushers are coming in, the top ranked guys, D tackles like Brewster and here with Mitchell Turner. And I think it does go back to, Matt, to your point, on offensive line, guys will enter the portal that you say, we could use that guy, and then we're going to be good, or we'll create some competition. Your D tackles, and maybe not to such a degree, but similar edge rushers, like, they're fortunate that Principal's here because he played for Lane Kiffin and Lou Spann, like that staff that was there and came down here. You're fortunate you got Jordan Ross, right? You're fortunate. And Chaz Coleman even visited, and he dodged a bullet there. He ends up at Tennessee, and he's not even on campus. But, like, there were like 3 or 4 edge rushers that everybody was like, yeah, those guys are like definitely the guys. And then there's the Walter Nolans every year or two where it's like, hey, that guy's like the guy in the portal. So how do you do it? You get him in high school and swing for the fences. So don't be surprised when every week you look up and the highest ranked guys that are visiting are players that are defensive linemen or, playing in the trenches. Right now, though, it is very clear it's the D line that they're focused on in high school.
Another one is KJ Green. I saw you share this on social media. Another 5-star edge who's visiting. Shea, I think this is the first time you and I have talked about Green. So give us maybe the thumbnail bio there and where this recruitment stands.
Green, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Stone Mountain boy. So throwback to the Stone Mountain days of high school recruiting for LSU. But he's I think he's a top 5-10 edge rusher. It doesn't really matter. I mean, he's ranked as a 5-star already. And he's someone the staff is very high on. Look, their one edge commit is a 5-star in Jaden Bryant. Well, he committed out of South Carolina as soon as Sterling Lucas got here. We just talked about him being the South Carolina defensive end Ed's coach, and Lane brought him in to fill that void left by Kyle Williams leaving the staff. Well, The very first offer KJ Green ever got was in 8th grade at South Carolina's camp when Sterling Lucas offered him. So he had been recruiting him forever to South Carolina. You just carry that relationship over to LSU now. He's not a South Carolina kid. Yes, he is over in that area, but he's open with his process. And Lucas has a great relationship with the kid, with his parents, with everyone around him, with the people at the high school. So it's almost one where you feel like, okay, we've been in this one all along, instead of, hey, this kid kind of popped up on LSU's board whenever you got here. And that's just kind of the benefit sometimes of a coaching change, where you bring in connections. Jamar Cain had a lot of them, right? Like when you come from another school in the SEC or an Oklahoma, like you're recruiting a lot of the same kids. And fortunately for LSU, they hired a DN's coach who was well known for pretty much big game hunting on 5-star defensive ends. And that's what the visitor list has looked like so far.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. So KJ Green will be on campus this weekend. That's his official visit is this Friday through Sunday. What else can you tell us about the visitor list for this weekend?
Yeah, they've shuffled it up. They moved some guys around, but they settled in on 6 guys again here. So they'll be all out of state, no in-state kids this week. I know Easton Royal was the headline of a week ago, but a couple of DBs. Corey Raymond will have in, Tay Walden out of Tennessee, and then Greedy James is a Texas commit out of Manville over there. But originally a New Orleans native when he was younger, but moved over to Texas and now plays high school football, like I said, at Manville. But committed to Texas. He's ranked as a safety, but Corey Raymond's been recruiting him at corner, and then Tay Walden's ranked as an athlete, but Corey's recruited him at corner. So they're going to take a couple corners in this class. So it's something to monitor there. And look, they've got a couple of running backs coming in. There's a couple of running backs in state, but these kids are out of state kids. So it's kind of like Kevin Smith is getting a feel for everything that's out there in terms of the guys at the top of his board. But one I'm watching is Kelsey Adams, Matt. He's from Atlanta, is committed, plays at Langston Hughes, has been committed to Georgia for a while now, and is coming off his Georgia OV. And look, I'm not even knee deep in the weeds in Georgia recruiting, but I followed the storyline that they've just missed on some offensive tackles and lost some that they thought they were going to get. And he's been their guy. He's been committed since September, really. And I think August, September. But the fact that you're getting him on campus and didn't shut things down after Georgia OV is notable, because we have not seen them start to stack up on the O-line yet. And dominoes are kind of falling all over the place with top targets. So do you hone in on a guy like this and try to flip him from Kirby? And we'll see. But that's going to be one I think to watch this weekend. But number one on the list is certainly KJ Green, the highest ranked guy coming in as an edge rusher.
Shea Dixon from On 3, the Bengal Tiger. Of course, rivals on the recruiting side. Make sure you get him at Shea Dixon. Good enough to hang out with us, usually on Tuesdays, but making it work today on a hump day. Shady, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, Matt. Talk to you next week.
All right, man. Be well. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, arco.com, arco.com, ARCCO, Industrial Generac Generator Power. We tell you about it every single day. If you're a business owner, I need to bang you over the head with this message, because, y'all, storm season, hurricane season started Monday. It's raining every day, and thankfully we haven't seen a storm in the Gulf yet, but we know it's the risk we take living here. We love to live here, but it's the risk we take being right here in the Gulf. Storms happen, power goes out. When the power goes out, what happens? We all know at your home, you get a generator at your house. What about your business? No different. That's where Arco comes in. Industrial Generac Generator Power. This is a critical backup energy solutions for the industrial sector. No matter what type of business you run, industrial facility, municipality, Arco can help. North to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, all points in between, all over Louisiana, Houston, Dallas, Austin, everywhere. Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Get in touch with them today and start that process. Everything is turnkey. Sell, service, install, rent, industrial Generac generators, arco.com. All right, thanks to Shea. We appreciate it for coming by. We're about halfway home here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. If you missed Heather Dinich in hour one, it was a really it was an important day on Capitol Hill. Nick Saban testified. The Protect College Sports Act was discussed. We're going to get to a lot of what Nick Saban had to say and some reaction to that to start hour 3. So 30 minutes from right now, you won't want to miss that. We'll not get a quick break, and we'll get. By the way, Saints are back on the practice field for OTAs today. Ross Jackson will be here in hour 3. Tell us what he saw out on the practice field. So a lot to do. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know, I get to tell you every day about Rev Fiber, and you get to talk about Rev, and I get to talk about an awesome local business and great local people. You know, we've all been there before when we've been on a phone call to a call center somewhere, and you just know the person you're talking to isn't down the street. They're probably not even in the mainland United States. You get shipped off to a call center somewhere else in the world. Not with Rev. They're here, man. 90 years as a local business. When you call Rev, you get someone locally here in South Louisiana talking to you. When their technicians come to your house, someone who lives here in South Louisiana, they give you a better product at a better price. Lightning fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs for your home or your business. Cable, phone, internet, all of it. REV. RevFiber.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
This Father's Day, Citizens Bank and Trust is celebrating the dads who do it all with the return of the Rad Dad contest. Nominate your favorite Rad Dad for a chance to win an awesome grand prize package, including a Weber Traveler Grill and accessories from Goodwood Hardware, a steak dinner pack from Chris's Specialty Foods, and a Manly Bayou bundle from Hawk Soap. Just submit a photo of your dad doing dad things for a chance to win. Submissions are open through June 13th, and the voting begins on June 14th, and the winner will be announced Friday, June 19th. Happy Father's Day to all the rad dads from Citizens Bank and Trust.
Super rad. Rad.
You would classify yourself as a rad dad?
Rad dad.
Okay.
Does one get to classify himself as a rad dad, or is that a title / honor / label moniker that must be bequeathed upon said dad by an independent third party?
The latter, but that doesn't stop people from just self-proclaiming themselves things at all. Like nicknames should always be given, not made up by you, right?
That's like Terrio calling himself Cricket.
Yeah.
He wanted a nickname, so he named himself Cricket. And so there are actually people who indulge him and they call him Cricket. And I think it's the dumbest thing. I'll never call him Cricket.
It's not how it works. Mm-mm. Like a nickname is given to you.
Yeah. Like Paul.
That's not a nickname.
I know. Rad Dad, though.
Oh,
we can decide is Paul a Rad Dad.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Paul is.
How do you define Rad Dad?
Guy who just he is the dad, right? Like he grills, he does the yard.
He is the dad.
He's the dad. He's a great father.
Oh, you were getting started. Grills.
Does
the yard.
Great
father.
Great, always there for his kids.
Yeah.
Does just a bunch of different stuff. He's got the shoes. Like he's got dad shoes.
Dad shoes,
like newbies.
So I don't think I qualify now, all right? Because I don't have dad shoes.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't do the yard.
You don't do the yard.
I pay people to do the yard.
You grill though.
I grill. I'm always there for my kid. But then again, that just means like you're a decent human doing the thing you should do. The old Chris Rock thing.
That's true.
You know the Chris Rock thing is like, I take care of my kids. What, you want a cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to take care of your kids.
I would actually like to retract that. You don't get an award for that.
You don't get an award.
Yeah, you don't get an award. So just be there for your kids because you should. It doesn't qualify as your rad dad.
All right, Paul is a dad. Muse, you're not a dad yet.
No.
One day. In about 9 months or so, Muse is going to be a dad.
No. Don't do that. No.
I heard.
No, please don't put that juju. Don't, no.
It's the rumor going around.
No, it's not.
Well, Muse.
Oh, Lord.
There's a way you can make sure.
Yeah.
Paul, how would you define rad dad? I'll put Paul on the spot, which is never a good thing.
No, it's
Paul
not.
doesn't say words.
Someone that goes above and beyond. Someone that does more than the grass, does more than the grilling.
Like what?
Oh, man, I don't know.
I know. See, you put Paul on the spot.
Dad jokes. Dad jokes has to be included in this too.
See, I think of rad dad, and I think of the word rad, and I go, okay, rad was a thing in the 90s. Oh, radical, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Radical, dude. Like, and so that makes me think of something that's like antiquated, like bad dad jokes, wearing socks with sandals.
That's so bad.
You know what, though? That's a thing now. When we went to Arizona last week, Paul, are you nodding your head?
Yes.
Okay. Feel free to weigh in. I went to Arizona last week, as we all know, and or as I've talked about here. And so it was me, brother-in-law, and my nephew. My nephew, Eli, shout out, Eli James Anderman, who turned 16 on the 4th of July. So Eli's 15. He just finished up his sophomore year at Catholic. James, his dad, my brother-in-law, was in Colorado for his niece's graduation. So James flew from Colorado to Arizona. So Eli flew with me. So he and I left and went together and met James there. Eli is wearing slides, Birkenstocks,
Okay.
with white socks. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, what? You shouldn't wear white socks? I was like, you shouldn't wear socks. You're wearing Birkenstocks, man. He's like, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. You got to wear socks. That's a thing now that the kids do.
I just have a big problem with that.
Yeah, the
I have
thing
a
we
big
would
problem
make
with that.
fun of
Yeah.
the old guy for wearing socks with the sandals. That's the thing the kids do now. Like there's parents right now that are like big nodding their head. And I got a 12-year-old who's a special needs kiddo, so he's not going to ever be up on the, whatever's, the
trends.
The trends. Thank you. So like as a dad, I'm a dad of a 12-year-old, but my experience is different than if you got a junior high school kid. But I'm telling you, dude, the moms and dads right now listening. I'm telling you, my phone right now, Twitter, email is going to blow up with people like, bro, you're right. That's what they do. That's like I got a niece in college who wears a hoodie every day. I'm like, Reese, it's 107 degrees. What are you doing? It's just what they do.
Yeah, I see that younger generation, they also, I've seen this on social media, they have a big problem with ankle socks and no-show socks.
Yes.
Which I have a big problem with that. Like
that's fashion cycles.
I did not fight for the right to wear no-show socks in private school for you to just all of a sudden make those uncool. Like, I'm sorry.
They're going with calf socks again.
And what are we doing?
I know. They're pulling up the white socks to the calf. I'm like, no. I'm wearing no-show.
Oh, man. Also, flip-flops with jeans. Stop it.
I do not own. Well, that's Ross Dellinger. You got to have a word with Ross.
Yeah, we got to talk to Dellinger.
I don't think I've ever seen Ross Dellinger wear socks.
Oh, man.
Or closed-toe shoes. I mean, it could be the middle of winter in D.C.
That's great.
And Delly's out there in flip-flops and jeans. That's just what he does.
State of mind, man.
That's where he is. What was I talking about? I do not own a pair of athletic socks that pull up beyond the ankle.
Same.
I either have ankle or no-show athletic socks. I do not own a pair of athletic socks that are like mid, that are just below the calf.
Same. I mean, get in trouble all the time in school for like rolling down the crew sock. Like, just, it's what we did.
You get in trouble for rolling it down?
Oh, yeah. At STM, oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I used to always roll. Like, you'd push it down or roll it, pull it down a little bit.
They didn't like that at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
That wasn't against the rule for us.
It wasn't for us.
That's why Most Blessed Sacrament was the best. Pelicans.
We did it anyway. We did it anyway, and now the younger generation is ruining all the hard work.
Spit in your face.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was at MBS, a fighting pelican.
There it is.
6th grade when I had to get glasses. Got contacts in the 8th grade. It's a long time ago. And for a long time I was told, you know what? You're not a good candidate for LASIK. And you know what? Lies! Lies, I tell you. Dr. Blake Williamson, he fixed that for me. September will be 8 years since I had my LASIK. God, I wish I'd done it 10 years before. Does that sound familiar? Probably does. I bet you know someone who's had LASIK said the same thing. Best decision I made, best money I ever spent. Wish I'd done it 10 years before. Well, whatever the point is you are in your life right now, you want to get rid of contacts or glasses, you can. Maybe you're not a candidate. Maybe you really aren't a candidate for LASIK. That's okay. PRK, custom lens replacement, y'all, they have a refractive procedure. Maybe you don't, like LASIK changes the shape of your eye. Evo ICL, that's ICL is implantable contact lens. It feels like that's a new thing. Dr. Blake's been doing that forever. But that's a totally reversible procedure as well. They got something for you, man. You want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. Williamson, EYE.com. Let me check. I want to check to see if I've gotten any messages from people yet about the socks thing. Here's Caleb. The young guys wearing the shorts is killing me.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. They're also not like
shorts.
They're also like athletic short, like kind of like athletic short material. I feel like too. I feel like they're not like. I don't know what you know what I mean.
So what I've learned here, so this is just a product of me going through this like physical transformation where I've lost a lot of weight, and so I've had to buy a totally new wardrobe. So I've recently bought like shorts for the summer, not like athletic shorts, but like khaki shorts. You wear a belt with. And so I went to Lululemon. And I've learned that they have like 7-inch or 9-inch shorts. Mm-hmm. How close to the knee do you want them? And in some brands, that 7 feels a little aggressive, but in some it is really good. So I would have always been like a board short swimsuit. I'm of the cargo pant and cargo short era. You know what I mean?
Those things were clutch.
A lot of pockets. But
So
now I
many.
look at it and I'm like, what were we thinking? I'm not going on an army hike. What are we doing? Stupid.
That'd be another thing Rad Dad, though. Cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts.
Yes.
That's where all this started.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have derailed this segment, Muse. We were going to talk about Kellen Moore, talking about Jonas Sanker, NBA Finals, and you just yard sailed this segment.
You asked me what I would classify as Rad Dad, so I told you.
You just absolutely. That's what happens. It's 448. That's why you drifted. No doubt. Got it. We got it now, Muse. Anyway. Muse, look forward to your Rad Dad entry soon.
Yeah, you got to stop that. You got to stop that one.
We'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it. Muse doesn't like that one at all. Get Gordon and get it done. I always tell Muse, hey, man, if we ever go too far, you tell me. We'll reel it back. Like, Muse like, yeah, I don't like that one. You reel that one back in. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Get Gordon and get it done. All different types of injuries, right? Car wrecks, big truck wrecks, workers' comp, maritime. We think so often because we see the billboards of the Gordon standing on a big truck. We think maybe condition truck wreck, but man, Gordon and his team of attorneys handle all different types of personal injury. So if you've been injured, it's not your fault. Get what you're owed. Get what you're entitled to help you get your life back to normal. And start by calling Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888, 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're hanging on with us here. Nick Saban was testifying before Congress today. Got some thoughts on that. You'll hear what Saban had to say. We'll react to it coming up after SportsCenter. Right now, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Keyshawn Booty, he's interested in a trade. Makes a little bit of sense. A.J. Brown, now a New England Patriot. Romeo Dobbs, now a New England Patriot. Booty in the final year of his rookie deal. How many targets is he going to get? 1,100 yards, 9 tuds the last 2 seasons. We'll see if the Patriots indeed move him. Gage Jump, carve show last night at Wrigley. 7 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. Retired the last 14 hitters he faced. Got his first major league win and was wildly efficient. 85 pitches in 7 innings. Great start for Gage Jump. Aaron Nola. Good one for him. 5 innings, 2 earned, didn't walk anybody, punched out 8. Pretty vintage Nola stuff. Also vintage, the Phillies didn't score and he got a no decision.
Oh.
They did win, but he just got the no decision. Kevin Gausman was on the bump a night ago against Paul's Braves. 6 innings, 4 runs, 2 walks, 8 punch-outs for Gausman. Did take the loss, so he's 4-4, but solid outing there for Kevin Gausman. And then WNBA action. We told you Anissa Morrow versus Angel Reese, former teammates. Each went for a double-double, 20-13 for Morrow, 12-13 for Angel Reese. Angel Reese, with those 12 points, crossed into the 1,000-point club in the WNBA. That's Tigers and Pros.
Presented by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. That's pretty easy, right? When the name of the business is the same as its URL, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. For 100 years, First South Farm Credit has done one thing. They help Louisianians buy land. What kind of land? Well, need 1,000 acres for agriculture? First South Farm Credit. Want to buy that hunting property in Mississippi and Texas? First South Farm Credit. You want to buy 50 acres in St. Francisville to build your family's dream home? First call should be to First South Farm Credit. Or you can log on to firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Ross Jackson will be here in 20 minutes. Saints had OTAs. He was there. So was Alvin Kamara. So Ross will react to that and tell us what he saw on the field. That's coming up. Nick Saban testifying before Congress. Oh, I got some thoughts. That's next.
AFR.
If you're driving home and you're having this conversation with yourself, or if you're like the Moscona family, hey, babe, what do you want for dinner? I don't care. What do you want? Oh, I want X. No, I don't want that. You say you don't care. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Well, I got an idea. Just go to Rouse's. Seriously, just go to Rouse's. Rouse's.com, pop in any of the Rouse's, because you can go to their hot and boiled kiosk. You can go get sushi. You can get something to throw on the grill. You can get prepared meals, their salad bar, the hot bar. They got options for literally what anyone in the family wants. Great spot to pick up whatever you want for dinner. Great spot to pick up anything. How about, I just saw this. Alaska, fresh, wild-caught Alaska king salmon fillets available right now for $26.99 a pound while it lasts. Rouse says this feels like home.